Have you ever felt tired, even after doing everything right? You worked hard, you helped people, you tried to be kind, yet somehow your heart still felt heavy. Many of us believe that being a good person means always saying yes. Yes to extra work. Yes to other people's requests. Yes to responsibilities that were never ours. At first it feels good. People thank us, they appreciate us, they call us kind. But little by little, something begins to disappear. Our time, our energy, our joy, and without even noticing, our peace. The truth is, peace is rarely taken from us all at once. It disappears one small choice at a time. Today's story is about a young woman named Emma. She spent years trying to make everyone happy. She believed that if she worked harder, helped more, and disappointed no one, life would finally feel peaceful. Instead, she became exhausted. Then, one ordinary conversation changed the way she looked at herself and the way she lived. If you have ever felt overwhelmed, if you find it difficult to say no, or if you simply want a quieter, happier life, this story is for you. Let's begin. Part 1. Always Available. Emma was 29 years old. She worked for a marketing company in a busy city. Her days always began the same way. A quick breakfast, a crowded train, a cup of coffee at her desk before the office slowly filled with people. Emma was good at her job. She was organized, dependable, and always willing to help. Whenever someone had a problem, they knew exactly who to ask. "Emma, could you check this report?" "Emma, can you stay a little later?" "Emma, would you mind helping me with this client?" Her answer was almost always the same. Of course. At first, she enjoyed being the person everyone could rely on. Helping others made her feel useful. It made her feel appreciated. But as the months passed, she noticed something changing. Her calendar became full. Her evenings disappeared. The books on her shelf gathered dust. The walking shoes by her front door were rarely used. Even the small plants on her balcony looked forgotten. One Saturday morning, Emma found an old notebook while cleaning her apartment. Inside, she had written a simple list at the beginning of the year. Read more books. Visit my parents twice a month. Learn to paint. Take better care of myself. She read each line slowly. Then she looked at the calendar hanging on the wall. Half the year had already passed. Almost nothing on the list had happened. She closed the notebook without saying a word. On Monday morning, Emma arrived early, hoping to finish an important project before everyone else came in. For a while, the office was quiet. She enjoyed those peaceful moments. Then the elevator doors opened. People began arriving. Conversations filled the room. A coworker hurried toward her desk. "Emma, I'm really sorry, but could you help me finish this presentation? I'm completely stuck." Emma looked at her own screen. Her deadline was only a few hours away. For the first time, she almost said no. The words reached her lips, but never came out. She smiled politely. "Sure, I'll help." Her coworker thanked her and walked away. Emma stared at her unfinished work. A quiet sigh escaped her. She could not explain why. But deep inside, she felt as though she had given away something far more valuable than an hour of her time. As the day went on, one thought quietly stayed with her. When did helping everyone else become more important than taking care of myself? Part 2. The cost of always saying yes. The weeks passed quickly. Emma's routine never seemed to change. Every morning, she promised herself she would leave work on time. Almost every evening, she broke that promise. There was always one more email, one more request, one more favor. One afternoon, as she was getting ready to leave, her phone rang. It was her younger sister, Lily. "Mom and Dad are having dinner this Saturday," Lily said. "They've been asking about you. Will you come?" Emma smiled. I wouldn't miss it. She meant every word. She had not shared a meal with her family in weeks. For the first time in a long while, she had something to look forward to. Friday afternoon arrived. Just before everyone went home, Emma's manager stopped by her desk. "I'm sorry to ask this so late," he said, "but an important client moved the deadline forward." He looked at her with an apologetic smile. "We need someone we can trust this weekend." Emma lowered her eyes to the papers on her desk. She already knew what was coming. "You don't have to say yes," her manager added. "I'll understand if you already have plans." For a brief moment, the answer felt simple. She could protect her weekend. She could keep her promise to her family. Then another thought quietly appeared. What if I disappoint everyone? Without realizing it, she smiled. "I'll do it." Her manager thanked her before walking away. A few minutes later, Emma picked up her phone. Her mother answered almost immediately. "Hi, sweetheart." Emma closed her eyes. "I'm sorry, Mom. I can't come tomorrow." There was a short silence. Then her mother spoke gently. "Don't worry. We'll have dinner together another time." Her voice was warm, but Emma could hear the disappointment she was trying to hide. After the call ended, Emma remained alone in the office. The room was almost empty. Outside the window, the sky slowly turned orange as people began their journey home. Some were walking with friends. Others were laughing with their children. Emma watched them quietly. She suddenly realized that she was always making time for everyone, except the people she loved, and except herself. The next evening, she finished work just as the sun disappeared. She returned to an empty apartment. Her dinner sat untouched on the kitchen table. She wasn't hungry. She wasn't angry. She was simply tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep could fix. The kind that slowly grows when you spend too much of your life forgetting yourself. As she sat in the silence of her apartment, one question filled the room. If I keep living this way, what will be left of me? Part 3. A different way to live. Monday morning felt quieter than usual. Emma arrived early, carrying the same notebook she had found a few days before. She placed it on her desk, but she could not stop thinking about the question she had asked herself. If I keep living this way, what will be left of me? Around 10 o'clock, her manager asked her to deliver a few documents to another department. She picked up the folder and walked down the hallway. As she reached the meeting room, she noticed someone sitting alone by the window. It was Grace. Grace had worked at the company for many years. She was respected by everyone, not because she spoke the loudest, not because she had the highest position. People simply trusted her. Grace looked up and smiled. "Good morning, Emma." "Good morning. You look tired." Emma laughed softly. I guess it's been a busy few weeks. Grace tilted her head. Or maybe a busy few years? Emma did not know how to answer. Grace pointed to the empty chair across from her. Sit with me for a minute. Emma hesitated. She still had work waiting for her. But something told her to stay. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence felt unusual. Emma wanted to say something, anything. Grace seemed perfectly comfortable saying nothing at all. Finally, Grace asked, "When was the last time you had an evening without thinking about work?" Emma searched her memory. She couldn't remember. Grace nodded gently. "I thought so." She reached for a blank sheet of paper and drew 2 circles. In the first circle, she wrote, "Things I can control." In the second, she wrote, "Things I cannot control." She placed the paper between them. "What keeps you awake at night?" she asked. Emma looked at the circles. She answered honestly, "What people expect from me. Whether I disappoint someone. What they think about me." Grace smiled. "And which circle do those belong to?" Emma looked at the second circle. A quiet smile appeared on her face. "I can't control any of them." Grace nodded. "So why do they receive so much of your energy?" Emma stared at the paper. For the first time, she saw her life from a different angle. She had spent years trying to manage things that had never belonged to her. Other people's opinions, other people's moods, other people's expectations. Grace folded the paper and handed it to her. "I've carried that same piece of paper for years," she said. "Whenever life becomes noisy, it reminds me where my attention belongs." Emma carefully placed the paper inside her notebook. As she stood to leave, Grace spoke one last time. "You don't find peace by controlling the world." She smiled gently. "You find it by choosing what deserves a place in your mind." Emma walked back to her desk. The office had not changed. Phones were still ringing. People were still rushing from one meeting to another. But something inside her had become a little quieter. For the first time, she realized that protecting her peace would not begin with changing other people. It would begin with changing one small choice at a time. Part 4. One small change. Emma slipped Grace's folded paper into her notebook and returned to work. The rest of the day felt no different. Emails kept arriving, phones kept ringing. People still needed her help. But each time she opened her notebook, she saw the 2 circles. Without realizing it, she began asking herself a new question. Can I control this? If the answer was no, she tried not to carry it with her. It wasn't easy. A few days later, another busy afternoon arrived. Emma was working on a report when a coworker hurried to her desk. "Emma, could you help me with these numbers? I'm running out of time." She looked at her own screen. Her report was due in less than an hour. The old habit returned immediately. Just say yes. She almost did. Then she remembered the paper. One slow breath, one quiet pause. She smiled. "I'd like to help, but I need to finish this first. If I still have time later, I'll come and find you." Her coworker nodded. "No problem." Then he walked away. That was all. No argument, no disappointment. No one thought she was selfish. Emma looked down at her desk and smiled to herself. For years, she had been afraid of a reaction that never came. That evening, she left the office before sunset. Instead of taking the train home, she decided to walk through a nearby park. Children were playing on the grass. An old couple shared a bench beneath a tall tree. A young man sat quietly, reading a book. Everything looked ordinary. Yet Emma noticed something she had been missing for a long time. No one seemed to be rushing. No one was trying to impress anyone. They were simply living. She found an empty bench and sat down. For the first time in weeks, she put her phone away. She listened to the wind moving through the trees. She watched the sky slowly change from blue to gold. Nothing extraordinary happened. Still, she felt something she had not felt in a long time. Space. Space to breathe. Space to think. Space to simply be. When she arrived home, she opened the old notebook once again. Below the list of dreams she had written months earlier, she added one new sentence. Today, I chose myself without hurting anyone else. She closed the notebook and placed it beside her bed. It was only one small decision, but she knew real change rarely begins with something big. It begins with a quiet choice, made again the next day. Part 5. A different choice. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. Emma's team was preparing an important presentation for a new client. Everyone had been working hard. The office was unusually quiet. Just an hour before the meeting, someone discovered a mistake in the final report. The room quickly filled with tension. People searched through documents. Some spoke louder than usual. Others tried to find someone to blame. Then a coworker looked at Emma. I think you worked on this section. Several people turned toward her. For a brief moment, Emma felt the old fear return. Her heart beat faster. She wanted to explain everything. She wanted everyone to know it wasn't her mistake. But before saying a single word, she stopped. She took a slow breath. Then she opened the report and checked every page carefully. After a minute, she looked up. This section wasn't mine, she said calmly. But finding the solution is more important than finding the person to blame. The room became quiet. No one argued. No one interrupted her. Without another word, everyone returned to work. Within 20 minutes, the mistake had been corrected. The presentation went ahead as planned. Later that afternoon, the coworker who had spoken earlier walked to Emma's desk. I'm sorry, he said. I checked the previous version. The mistake was mine. Emma smiled. It's okay. We fixed it. He looked at her for a moment. A few months ago, you would have defended yourself immediately. Emma nodded. I know. So, what changed? She looked through the window before answering. I realized that proving I'm right doesn't always bring me peace. Sometimes staying calm is the better choice. Her coworker smiled. I think you've changed. Maybe, Emma replied. Or maybe I'm finally becoming the person I wanted to be. That evening, Emma left the office with a lighter heart. The city was as busy as ever. Cars filled the streets. People hurried toward the train station. Nothing around her had become quieter. Yet everything inside her felt different. She understood something she had spent years searching for. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to remain calm while facing them. As she walked across the small bridge near her apartment, she stopped for a moment and watched the river below. The water never argued with the rocks. it simply kept moving. Emma smiled. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't carrying everyone's expectations. She wasn't replaying every conversation in her mind. She wasn't wondering whether everyone liked her. She was simply walking home. And somehow, that ordinary walk felt like freedom. She knew difficult days would come again. People would still make demands. Some would misunderstand her. Others might not agree with her choices. But now she also knew something else. No opinion, no request, no argument was worth losing the quiet place she had finally found within herself. Ending. Peace is something you protect. Emma never became a different person overnight. She still worked hard. She still cared about people. She still faced busy days and unexpected problems. The difference was simple. She no longer believed she had to carry everything. She learned that kindness does not mean saying yes to everyone. Real kindness also includes being kind to yourself. Perhaps you have been living like Emma, trying to meet every expectation, trying not to disappoint anyone, giving away your time, your energy, and your peace without even noticing. If so, remember this. You don't have to change your whole life tomorrow. Just make one better choice today. Maybe you say no when your heart says no. Maybe you leave work on time. Maybe you enjoy a quiet walk without looking at your phone. Small choices may not seem important, but they slowly become a different life. Before we finish, let's practice a few simple English sentences together. Read them slowly. Say them with confidence. I choose peace over pressure. I cannot control everything. I respect my time and my energy. I can be kind and still protect myself. Every day I protect my peace. Now take one slow, deep breath. Look around you. Notice the quiet moments you usually miss. Sometimes, peace is not waiting for us somewhere in the future. Sometimes, it is already here. It begins the moment we stop giving our energy to things we cannot control. If this story spoke to your heart, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing that steals your peace, and what is one small step you can take to protect it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story may encourage someone else who needs these words today. And if you'd like to keep learning English through meaningful stories like this one, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every story is designed to help you improve your English while discovering simple lessons that can make everyday life a little calmer, a little wiser, and a little happier. In our next story, we'll explore why self-respect changes the way the world treats us. Until then, take care of yourself, stay calm, and protect your peace.